because of it. All right, let's get to the phone lines here. We're going to go to Mary, who's been hanging on very patiently. Thank you, Mary, from D'Iberville. Mary, what can we help you with tonight?
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hey.
I would like to know, is it a time limit on these class action lawsuits?
Okay, Mary, is there anything in particular that you have in mind for a class action?
Well, it's been 13 years since I have had double hip replacements. And I've called and they keep telling me that I'm already over the time limit, and I was just wondering if there's a time limit on these.
Who have you called, Mary, if I may ask? Is it an attorney or some other one of these call-in lines? Who's actually told you the time limit has expired?
I believe it's an attorney.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's a couple points of advice. We handle some of these hip cases. My mother's very personal to me. She's had multiple hip replacements and has had some problems. So I'm pretty keenly aware of this situation. Here's sort of what you have to look for. There are certain models of hips that are the subject of recall or the subject of litigation that have lots of problems with them. You can typically contact an attorney, and look, not just any attorney knows this. It's got to be attorneys who routinely handle it. It's very specialized, and they can tell you. Once they obtain the medical records, it's a little sticker that goes on your operative report that tells the make, model of that particular hip that you received. And then they can look at that and determine whether it's been the subject of a recall or been the subject of a lot of litigation. If so, you may very well be in the ballgame. The reason you may still be, because it's 13 years old, is because it depends on when you became aware of the fact that it was defective or when they admitted it was defective. So just because it's happened that long ago doesn't mean you're out of the game.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's right.
So it's a little different then.
Well, it's a discovery rule. So, you can't, when they weren't admitting it was defective, how would she have known it's defective?
Right,
okay?
right, good point.
She's just having a problem with a hip. So at some point after it was installed, you became aware, or should have become aware that you had a problem. And if that's the case, that's when the statute began to run.
And Jim, this is not one of these that probably Mary could run down on her own, is it?
No, do not try to do this on your own. We can help you with this if you want to call. There's a number of attorneys that do it, but make sure it's somebody that's familiar with these hips. These recalls are expanded all the time. There are models that are subject of a recall now that weren't a year ago. So it's fairly complicated, but it's a matter of basically tracking the hip that you have and seeing what the history has been with it.
Okay, very good. Mary, hope that helps out a little bit. Maybe